This sketchbook is from 2019. Okay, its first few pages are usually empty. I believe this sketchbook was when I was in California for Lightbox, or I started it, I think, in Singapore, actually. It's old stuff. It's weird seeing old work, man. I hear thunder. Hope the power doesn't go out. Okay. Yeah. I don't really know what to say. It's just old sketches, I guess. I feel like some things I might do differently these days, but, you know, it's interesting seeing old habits kind of sticking around. Ooh, yeah. So actually, this stuff, I think I had that submitted for the Imagine Effects Sketchbook edition. They featured a lot of my sketches that I sent in. That was pretty cool to see. Yeah, classic, you know, downturned head that I often draw with the brow ridge kind of cutting off the visibility of the eyes there. I got this traveler dude. And of course, striped pants or stockings, whatever. Oh, that's a girl. Yeah, I think I'm drawing these days a little bit less stylized than that. I think I still push proportions, but this is a bit more cartoony than what I normally do nowadays. Got some character concepts. Quick tip if you want to draw characters standing. I'm going to draw on this. Don't tell Cynics, because he's all about, well, if it's an old sketchbook, you're not allowed to draw in it. Whatever, dude. Anyway, see here I kind of have the shoes or the feet in perspective. So if you're drawing, you can kind of set up just a little plank in perspective, and you can even do a little grid to sort of indicate where the feet are planted. You could even draw the footprint of the feet or the shoes so that it's grounded on something. It's kind of difficult to start with the shoes and build your way up, but it is possible. But the idea is, like, if you draw a character, try to imagine some kind of three-dimensional object that they're standing on with a vanishing point. Nice. Yeah, these are pretty good. I see there's that kind of three-dimensional platform or indication of 3D something that she's standing on, and I pretty much from there I'm able to treat the rest of the limbs as basic cylinders. And she's like offering a piece of gum or a USB stick. I don't know. LMAO. So here we got a bunch of faces, some heads. I like that. I really like the eyebrows. Let's bring that a little closer, maybe. I miss drawing on paper. By the way, this is the Cottonwood Arts sketchbook, and I'm pretty sure I just used this exact pencil. The Sumo Grip 0.7 default lead. The lead I use as a refill is the HB 0.7. This pack comes with 30 pieces. Right. So even this, I'm kind of drawing in perspective. Grab a piece of paper to kind of explain. Like, you can kind of see that. It's kind of like has this kind of setup as the perspective, and then from there I could build on top of it, like a cylinder for the neck and then another cylinder for the head. And then the rest of the body is also in perspective going downward. So practice perspective makes this stuff much easier. And the reason I have these pages taped together is I had this sketchbook with me at Lightbox at my booth, and people wanted to look through it, and I had forgotten that I wrote a bunch of personal stuff on a lot of the pages, and I realized that like when somebody was just flipping through, and so after they were done, I kind of just taped up all the personal pages. Oh, what do you know? 3D platform. I think this is one of the pieces I sent to Imagine Effects. I don't remember if they put it there or not, but yeah, I was imagining some kind of science fiction scene where they're on some kind of spacecraft, and he's like the captain. We got, you know, other crew members, including an alien. Demons and goblins. Got some punk dude. Maybe he's just cyberpunk. He's got the floating mohawk kind of thing. Yeah, I think I was in that cyberpunk mood. This was for one of my story ideas. I don't know if it's like a story with like, you know, plot line or whatever, but rather an idea. And it's that these, you know, there's these kind of surreal dreamscapes, and there's these what we call burden walkers, where they're carrying the burdens, and there's a bunch of like floating treasure chests and drawers and whatnot, cabinets, and he's carrying the burdens of his past, but also of the people in his life or something, and they're walking towards something, and there's just a whole bunch of these burden walkers, and like these are people trying to help the person, but different burden walkers. Much like real life, we tend to not take the help of other people to share the burden, and so like this, I don't know, some ideas there. Oh, I think this is some figure drawing. I think there was a model in front of us doing different poses. But I could be wrong. This could be from photos, but I think it's. I don't remember actually, but I do know. Obviously, it's from reference. I can't always make up cool poses like all these, especially the subtlety of that. It's kind of something you only see in reference. A lot of people ask what kind of pencil that I use, and I mentioned that I use the HB that's in this, and they ask, how do you get it so dark? On paper. I think the cottonwood paper takes this pencil really well, whereas any other random thing. So like this is just I got this paper, a stack of this stuff. I thought it was the same as the cottonwood because it's the same like thickness, but it's not quite close. But you know, it's like you can kind of get a full range of value pretty easily by pressing lightly and then gradually adding pressure until it's really dark. And it's like, that seems like a pretty good range, and that's what you can get on most papers. But for some reason, it really takes black, maybe not black, but if you press really hard, it looks like it's black. It's beautiful. I love that. Whereas here, let's see if we can mimic that. Yeah, the difference is like this is too high resolution of a paper, and so you can get it pretty dark. Actually, it's like, yeah, it's just about the same darkness, but the difference is it doesn't happen so easily. Like you have to, I don't know, put effort in this, whereas on here it's effortless. I guess it just doesn't take the pencil as well as that. Anyway. Yeah. Because I remember her doing that pose. I'm like, dang, that's a really good pose. Very kind of surreal, natural pose. Same model, but I decided to add like costuming. So I really hope that's not supposed to be the hand, because that is huge. Like if here's the wrist, and that's the thing. Yeah, that's way too stretched. I wonder if I didn't really know that back then. Anyway, but yeah, put some costuming just to kind of try some concepting there. Yeah. That was such a good pose that she had. I think this one I made up after, or like during the break. But this one has such a nice breakdown, like where the rib cage creates this form and like a little bottom part of the rib cage there, and then the hips kind of just jut out this way, and then the leg does this kind of thing. So it creates this nice gesture of starting here, pushing out this way, then that way again. You can kind of put the details and scapula. Of course, it's much different when you're actually just seeing the model in front of you. But yeah. Whatever. Anyway. So that's figure drawing stuff. I do draw lots of girls. I cannot deny that. But sometimes I draw vehicles. Now, this is what you could consider like just basic ideation for like a vehicle, basic forms. I was thinking like a tractor or some kind of off-world mining truck vehicle thing. And it's actually pretty simple to do this. It might look complex, like, okay, well, how do you come up with this shape and the wheels and the axles? Well, if you could at the very least draw a cylinder in perspective. Now, of course, I'm applying 3-point, so the lines are converging this way. And that's what the wireframe would look like of the cylinder. And it's like, okay, well, all right, but that's just a cylinder. Well, if you add another one here, right, and then maybe another one there, and then another one here, just a big one in the back. Maybe you have another cylinder there. You can kind of see where I'm going with this. If you just block it in with basic shapes like that, you can start subdividing the parts and adding, little details in here and cut into it maybe or whatever. And these are now the wheels. You can kind of put details in there. This is where you could pull up reference of like actual tractors and NASA equipment, maybe some kind of device that they're carrying. Anyway, but that's concepting, coming up with ideas. And that's just illustration. I remember this. What is it? Okay, Palmworth reported because he's a Palm. Roger, Operation Tennis Ball in effect. Found a trail to a space-time pocket dimension. And we got this pug. Could it be Commander Pugchamp? The mailman. I don't know I don't know what happened there. Sometimes it just happens. This is, I think, in the Imagine FX article. Yeah. Yeah, some concept ideas. You'll notice you could see the perspective lines in there. It's very helpful to do that if you want to do things to, to show scale, like a little person there. It's rather easy. I mean, kind of loose, not too accurate. But whenever things are 3-point perspective, it kind of makes things feel more dynamic. Now, if you were to trace these lines all the way down, they'll meet up somewhere over here. And then same with these, they'll meet up somewhere over there. And then these will also meet up somewhere over here. That's 3-point perspective. And, you can easily create something within that, like a, big character, draw a head, maybe the torso, legs, and then draw another character down here with like a sword, of course, right? But 3-point, fun stuff. Big dude. Oh yeah, more of the burden walkers carrying their burdens. I need to draw more on paper. Yeah. So mechanical stuff like that, because I feel like when people look at this, they might have questions. So I'm trying to predict what the questions might be. Actually, I'll just add some more to her. If again, if you can draw basic forms in perspective, like, okay, that's a block, easy. But if you can also add a cylinder, okay, not too bad. And another cylinder, another block, you can start to like build and construct something. And maybe shade it in and connect it, and grab some research and reference of how joints look like on robots or construction vehicles. Construction vehicles are one of the best references to use for stuff like this. I guess I won't add it to that, but simple shapes. Got a burden walker scene, and I was imagining maybe the world that they navigate has like this old architecture of what civilization used to be, or maybe that's like the year 4000, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, it's kind of walking through it. Got some more of them over here. Got some lanterns with light to guide the way. Oh, I got a little fairy. So I look at this and it just feels really stiff. I would draw that much differently. Like like specifically that knee. Right now it has such right angles. Like that's a right angle, and then another right angle, very close to one. It just feels too boxy. And I think what I would do differently now is have more of the actual kneecap, taking the silhouette and making it more interesting. But the hands, those are done pretty well, I think. I gotta say, after doing that 500 hands challenge, I got so much better at drawing hands from memory. Not even from memory, from imagination. It's like constructing it. And I kind of came up with this quick way to do it recently, where it's like kind of scribbly, right? You got those 4 peaks. It's like, what is that? Those are knuckles. You got another set and then another set. And if you just connect them, suddenly it's like, oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, I don't know. Climbers. Here I was trying to go through the alphabet to come up with different map ideas for a game that my friend was working on, because he was kind of having trouble coming up with shapes of maps. So I'm like, well, what if we tried a plus sign or a donut shape, and have the zombies come in this way, and you have to kind of go around, like something, So that's what that is. Well, that's a cool pose. I like her. Yeah, like really cool pose. Short hair. Oh, of course it's an elf, I think. Pointy ears, slightly. Got a circus girl with her owl. And a clock back there. Again, with that 3-point perspective. Really shows dynamic camera angles. It's tea time. Mr. Angry Goblin, what's wrong? Are you okay? Very attractive elf. And floating mystery box. Yeah. Another thing that you can do with simple shapes, I mean, like basic cylinder, another basic cylinder, some more cylinders, just offset. Got a cylinder this way, and you mirror that over that way. Suddenly, you start having the structure and the setup for like a big old mech. Distill things down, basic shapes, and then the rest of the work is just you having fun putting details, like cut lines and stuff like that. So sometimes when I'm feeling anxiety or something and I want to get an idea out, and because it really helps to write and journal things, but I didn't have like a separate place to write this, and so like I'll just do this kind of thing, right? As if, like, how do I explain it? Like, I trick my mind to believe that these are the words that I'm thinking and writing the whole sentence out, and it still has the same effect. And so like it feels like I'm taking it from my mind and putting it on paper. And so that's sometimes you'll see like barcode looking stuff on my arts. So I really like that. This down angle shot for portraiture is really fun because it offers these like interesting shapes that are kind of difficult to capture. I think it's I don't know, when people do that, I find that it's really good taste in terms of, subject matter, and in terms of like where the camera is. Got another easy robot dude. basic shapes like that. Cylinders. Yeah. Cool Akira Tron bike situation up there. Space dude. And here some spaceship ideation. Yeah, that's a little bit more complex, but if you can draw like a basic shape in perspective, and if you have the ability to mirror shapes, so if I have like a curve, or let's just put a box first, a curve like that, if you can mirror the footprint as if it's two-dimensional on the ground there, you can kind of start to build that up as like a cockpit or something, and just kind of do that with the footprint on the whole thing. Change it up and add these jet engine things on both sides. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah. That's a wonky arm, but I like the face. Kind of like Darth Maul looking vibes. Yes, I love that stuff. Big dude, basic shape is got a big circle for the main body, got the head, and then the legs just happen in these small areas, and then the arms happen in that. Shape design. Oh, I think I was taking notes or planning my class that I was teaching later after that day. It helps to add some props to kind of show the floor, or like the three-dimensional space. Like if I put floorboards like this, it kind of helps us get a feel and be immersed in the space. And then maybe like there's another one of those batteries or whatever that is, like on the floor over here. Man, this paper just, it lets the pencil just glide right onto it. If I could just buy a whole stack of just the paper, I would do that. Which I thought I did, but it was the wrong stuff. All this real estate, I want to fill it up. What do we have here? That's cool. I should paint that. It's a nice long wide format illustration. Oh, that's cool too. It's like I think what I was thinking of is trying to do paintings with clear patterns, like very simple patterns as the main bases, and then complex detail happening within those patterns. Like I think these were supposed to be the burden walkers, kind of like a whole crowd of them going off into the distance, then coming up to us, and we see a couple in front of us. And then like simplicity on this side, so complex, simple, a lot of stuff going on, nothing going on, which is I think something a lot of people, including myself, refrain from doing because we feel like we have to balance it and make sure we have stuff everywhere compositionally. But it's like, if your statement calls for making you feel like you're over here, then so be it. Braids. That's another easy thing that you can do. So if you have, your character, we'll pretend that's the head. You got the bangs. I gotta do the blush for Nadia. But for braids like that, you can kind of just do a ribbon or a strip. And what I usually do as a sort of trick for the illusion is do that and then cross over. It's not always accurate, but then from here I'll shade upward any line that's on this side. Or something like that. I think I messed it up, but the idea is that the pattern is there. If the pattern reads like it, like a braid with the shadows and the highlights, it does the trick. And it's kind of like a painting thing, like painting. Because I think for like a more detailed drawing, you'd want to get in there and be specific if you're doing like line art and stuff, but I don't do line art. So I think for this one, I did that as a setup, but like started shading different patterns in there. Maybe. I don't know. What do you mean we're out of soup? I believe, I had my door mirror next to me, so I just grabbed the door mirror. And by that I mean like the long mirror. And I did this pose with each hand. I actually have two door mirrors because like for the first one I could look at my left hand, but I draw with my right. But if I just set up another mirror and do the other pose, it's as if it's the right hand. So it's a bit of trickery there, but reference is great for stuff like that. Yippers. Where is her other arm? Maybe we could add that. Don't tell cynics. We'll make it a robotic arm. Maybe it's got a joint there, a cylinder here, another cylinder there. Maybe we'll connect it that way. Another cylinder. Maybe it's got like pincers. another piece for the Imagine Effects issue. But I put in that circle to help me feel out where he is in an XYZ space. Good old biker dude with a shotgun. So I do draw this fit, and this is actually, I think, yeah, it's way later than, I think this was 2020. But I do draw that expression a lot with the, the brow ridge really protruding like that, and the nose and the mouth. And every time I do, I'm like, people are going to think I can't draw other expressions. So I drew that like right next to him. Like I could do expressions, whatever. But the reason I do this a lot is because it's so human. Because if you have an egg shape, right, and you got the brow ridge as a 3D shape, you have these orbitals or eye sockets with the cheekbones on there, and if you just shade them in, it feels so familiar to us and very human. And you got the barrel of the mouth and the shoehorn shape of the jaw, and with that, since those are where the dark areas are, it's very easy to just draw a shadow here for the nose and draw a mouth and then draw some eyes. And no one will ever know that there's just a skull underneath there. Give him a good old stash. Yeah. Creepy guy. Whenever you want to make somebody look more evil or creepy, just make the pupils really small. It's hard to trust someone that looks like that. Yeah. She needs an arm too, but I won't draw that right now. Yeah. It's a fun face. I like it. Hope that's in focus. I really need to figure out a better camera situation because the Logitech C920 is pretty decent. I got two of them set up. There's one here and the other over here. I can actually have both on at the same time, but it's so finicky, and I hate setting them up. I wish like you could just have a floating camera that's like high resolution, and like with a decent lens that you can focus, because like you can focus with this camera, the C920, but it's just like, I don't know, not so reliable. Like over here it looks like it's blurry, and I guess that could be cool for close-ups, but I don't know, I just wish it was sharper. Yep. Yeah, so one of the first iterations of my Demons project of like, I'm kind of glad that I've gotten over a lot of this, but back then it really felt like everything I did, there's these inner demons just laughing and ridiculing and screaming at me, and but they're just all like part of like what my mind delusionally invented out of survival, I think. I don't know, I've been kind of introspective about this stuff a lot in the past year or so. Well, a few years actually. Yeah, but it's like if you spend a lot of time thinking about things, they develop into these giant monsters in your head, and they can really control you and cause analysis paralysis often. Okay. This is my stick. Mine. this gun. A lot of just basic rectangles and cubes and cylinders. Some fantasy style elf situation. Dang, things in the way. Fantastic and wrong is better than boring and right. I think that's an Ian McKeg quote. I think he said it during an interview somewhere. But the idea is that if you try to be super accurate and correct and measured, it's just boring, to do that. But if you go over the top and go wild, even if it's wrong, it's fantastic and just more fun to look at and to experience. Or some more character sketching. Yeah, I tend to spend a lot of time on the face and like upper body details and costumes. Then when we get to here, it's like, yeah, just whatever. Yeah. That was a problem I had when I was working as a concept artist at ArenaNet. Like I would do that and put a lot of detail up there, and I'll send it back and say, hey, the 3D modelers kind of want you to figure out more about what's going down there. So if you could just do another pass. Yep, there's I'm sure that's some kind of emotion that I was trying to figure out or get out of my system. Big shoes. All right, here we get to see some fun stuff. These are not my drawings. When I was at Lightbox, a handful of people sketched in my sketchbook. This is Ryan Pallett. He was in one of my recent videos. I guess it's a more recent video, several months ago. But he was here, mentored him for a bit. Same with Matt. Matt was here as well. But crazy looking at this and seeing where he is now. He's gotten so much better. This is something. You can find him at Nightbound. And this is by Chloe Walsh, or Alice Chloe Walsh. You can find her at Scout Rager. I think that's still her Instagram name. And this Fire Seal, he's quite the guy. His name's Hewan, and he does these beautiful portraits of us, and he really captures, like, I don't know, the essence of things. I think he drew me checking out an elf girl carrying a muffin. I actually didn't even notice that till now, but yeah, he drew this for me in here. Good old dragon. And that is, let me just make sure what his Instagram is. Yeah, this is him. We got I have this night mode thing, so it turns kind of orange. That's why it looks orange right now. But that's it's got really great artwork. And he sent me a bunch of these stickers of these. Great. This was drawn by Night Zhang. I think that's how we say it. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right. But she goes by Aruseli. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Let me pull her up real quick. She's amazing. Her sketchbook was like none other I've ever seen. So it's actually, that's her story right there. Yeah, she's got some lovely work. SMH. Too good. I think we mentioned her before. Did I already do a sketchbook tour of this? I feel like... No. Yeah, it was just me and Cynics talking about her in a podcast before. Yeah, she's very good. I'm surprised she's not already working professionally. What else do we got? This is drawing by Jamila Knopf. Got to meet her at Lightbox, but also hang out with her in Berlin with Lottie, Mercy, and a person I can't remember her name. And this is by John. And Cynics drew me a chicken in armor, I believe. Wow, dude. Let's see. Ah, yes, of course, Mindy. Yeah, she drew a page for me. I love her little self-portrait logo. She has a lot of amazing work as well. Nothing I can't show. Yeah, this is when I was trying to figure out my Demon Masks project. I think I was trying to come up with like some kind of cover or something, but just basic design, simple shapes. I believe that's it for this sketchbook for now. Maybe I'll draw on it and put that up sometime later. All right, well, thanks for joining this chill, mellow sketchbook tour dive in. Sketchbook dive, whatever we want to call it. Yeah. Bye.